Let's get your morning started. You're looking out over downtown Indianapolis, and believe it or not, this is one of the clearer shots that we have seen, and it's because we're kind of hovering or seeing all the fog that is hovering above the ground there. But on some of our camera shots, that fog is dense. That's another one looking over the downtown canal this morning. We're going to be talking about that fog for quite a bit as we get to our rush hour right now.
Yes, welcome in here at 6 o'clock on your Tuesday. We're glad you're with us. So we definitely have that fog out there. The rain has stopped for now, so we're all clear. It seems like that was everlasting yesterday, but that's also kind of what's resulted in this fog, plus some school delays. We do have those running at the bottom of the screen.
Yes, I believe we're up to 5 now, 5 or 6. They're starting to come in.
Yeah.
So we'll have to watch because it's just really tough to see out there this morning. We were talking earlier, we almost smoked our trash cans just because you can't even see on the other end of the driveway.
Yeah, if it's trash today, watch out for those.
Watch out. So give yourself a little extra time.
Okay.
You're on county roads. I mean, watch for deer. That's something that we have to watch out for this time of year, and just wait for some slowdowns overall. So I was kind of working on this map a little bit, but you're seeing some of the reports slowly come in on these school delays. We have 2 in Tipton County, 1 in Hancock County, and then 1 towards the south as you get towards the Bloomfield area. Bloomfield schools are on a 2-hour delay this morning. So let's go ahead and take a closer look at your school forecast, because as you're headed to school, depending on the time now, if you have a 2-hour delay or not, we'll have 60s. A lot of gray skies, very foggy, even a little bit of mist out there this morning. I think by about 9 to 10 o'clock, a lot of this will be out of here. At least you'll be able to see a little bit better. It may not completely get out, but we'll get it definitely out by noon. But we'll watch that the rest of the day. Lunch and recess, we'll have a mix of some clouds and sun, and we can't rule out the chance for a spotty shower today, but for the most part, we're going to be on the drier side with heavier rain coming in tonight and tomorrow. But dense fog advisories blanket all of central Indiana. This is not just a rural fog. If you're out in the country, you have a little bit this time of year most mornings. This is in the city as well. However, now we can see War Memorial. You're looking there at the mall and the Legion as you're headed towards downtown. The skyscrapers, you cannot see them at all. No wind out there. The air is pretty soupy this morning, and visibility reports are low. If you see a 0, you have visibility under a quarter mile. These are at the airports. Of course, what you have in your town, your subdivision, out on your county road, it could be a lot thicker than this. So give yourself extra time. Coming up, we're going to talk a little bit more about the timing of some rain. We're dry this morning with a little bit of mist, but coming up, we'll let you know when you can expect more showers in your forecast. Let's go ahead and talk traffic this morning. We do have a few new crashes that we're trying to get to this morning too. I want to zoom in a little bit closer to downtown. There's 1 crash and 1 slowdown. There's a crash, or actually a stalled vehicle is very kind of tough to see. They're at the north split on I-65 in the southbound lanes. But the one thing that's causing more of a traffic buildup is I-70 in the eastbound direction as you're passing 465. They went ahead and closed it down to just 1 lane. I don't have a report of a crash. It could just be construction, not exactly sure. But this is really causing a backup. This is at Shadeland Avenue, but this extends all the way to about Post Road in the eastbound direction. So from Shadeland through 465's interchange into Post Road, it is a slow go, and it's just tough to see out there this morning. Give yourself, Julia, a little extra time.
All right. Thank you, Matt. Some new developments this morning in Google's proposal to build that data center in Franklin Township.
Google pulled the proposal last night, just minutes before the City County Council was actually set to vote on that. Marina Silva is live in downtown with the very latest from many who are actually waking up pretty happy, others maybe not so much. Good morning.
Good morning, ladies. Well, Julia, like you said, it was right before the city county councilors were expected to vote on the proposal when an attorney stood up and said that Google would actually be withdrawing their petition for rezoning. Now, Google did not immediately give a reason for why they're withdrawing their proposal, but this comes after months of people who live in Franklin Township voiced their concerns over the project through a lot of different ways. We're talking signs, billboards, even rallies before council meetings. Supporters for the project sought billions in investments, jobs, and tax relief for Franklin Township schools. But people against the project did cite lack of jobs, power, and water strain, as well as no tax benefit. Meredith Sharp is a member of Protect Franklin Township. She said while she is happy the project is withdrawn, she still has some concerns.
My worries are that since they withdrew the petition, that is one thing where it gets that they can come back within a few months, where if they had been voted against, then it would be a year before they could reapply. So we do need to remain vigilant in protecting Franklin Township, Marion County, and our great Hoosier state.
Indiana is marketing itself as a growing hub for data centers, but with all of this, it's unclear whether or not companies are going to want to come here to build after seeing a lot of the opposition that we did see with the Franklin Township vote. That's a story that has yet to be told and could be told in the next couple of years. Back to you guys.
Especially seeing how many have already moved in the last few years. Thank you, Marina.
Well, there is a renewed push this morning for accountability after a mass shooting over the weekend here in Indianapolis.
2 people were killed and 5 others hurt. And this mass shooting was one of multiple instances over the weekend just like this. This happened early Sunday morning near 38th and Eagle Creek Parkway. And police now say the 2 men killed were the shooters, but they say there may have been a 3rd gunman.
IMPD says a fight in the parking lot of a liquor store is what ended in gunfire. Chief Bailey told us a lot of the situations they're responding to are the result of arguments mixed with alcohol.
There are people making decisions, bad ones, every single day that are costing lives and changing lives forever. And until those individuals choose to take a different path, we will continue to see these things.
13 News asked if the nearby club would receive a nuisance order. IMPD says not right now because they cannot directly connect the club to the shooting. We're also keeping our eye on a Fort Wayne police officer this morning who is in the hospital in critical condition after being stabbed while responding to a call.
Officers were calling to an apartment building just before 6 last night, and minutes later they called for immediate assistance after the officer was stabbed.
Police say officers fired at the suspect, hitting him. Their condition, is unknown right now. The suspect and officer were both taken to the hospital. That officer was in critical condition at the time.
Oh, any officers who fired their weapons will be placed on administrative leave. That's department protocol in these types of shootings. An Indianapolis man will spend the next 45 years in prison after pleading guilty to murder and attempted murder. This is from a shooting in January of 2023. Jermerrill Hubbard shot and killed 20-year-old Brian Ward Jr. This is a case that garnered lots of attention because of Hubbard's prior criminal case. It includes Hubbard's arrest just 4 days earlier at the same apartment for having a gun illegally then. Well, this morning, Indiana's parole board is considering whether to spare the life of Roy Ward.
Ward's execution date is now just over 2 weeks away. Ward forced his way into the home of a 15-year-old Stacy Payne in July of 2001, repeatedly stabbing her.
Stacy's younger sister witnessed that attack and called 911.
There is a quote that says, "Time heals all wounds." But that absolutely is not true in this case, where a child is brutally murdered and dies a horrific death because of evil. You carry the pain every single day.
That was her mother who spoke before the parole board yesterday. Ward's attorneys argue Ward is not a severe psychopath as presented at trial. They've also asked the Indiana Supreme Court to stay the execution. They say Benjamin Ritchie may have experienced pain during the state's latest lethal injection back in May. We're learning new details this morning after Edinburg High School abruptly canceled its homecoming football game last Friday, hours before kickoff. So what we do know right now is Edinburg police released a statement saying officers responded to a harassment call at the high school during football practice. According to police, a couple of students got into an argument. That's when officers were called to that school.
Your time is 6:08. What a time to be an Indy sports fan. From the Colts, the Fever, even college sports teams. There are a lot to cheer for here in Central Indiana.
A lot of teams, some saying the level our teams are playing right now is making Indy the epicenter of sports. We've kind of always known that, right? Yeah. Anna Chalker is live with the growth of these teams. Good morning, Anna.
Good morning, ladies. We've been talking about the growth of Indy sports since the Pacers playoff run just a few months ago. And kind of the two big places to be right now in Indy, Lucas Oil Stadium, that's behind me for the Colts, and Gainbridge Fieldhouse for the Pacers and the Fever. And those ladies, they are on a roll. We are 1-0 right now in the semifinals as they got that dominant win in Las Vegas against the Aces on Sunday. This team has been considered the underdogs for the playoff after several big-name season-ending injuries, including Caitlin Clark. Now let's go back to the football field with the Colts going 3-0, the first time since 2009. The team took control over the Tennessee Titans, setting the Indy era franchise record, 103 points scored in the first 3 weeks of the season. That's 3 more points than the Peyton Manning era. 107.5, the fan host Jake Query says these young teams are not only growing their records, but the city as a whole.
All comes down to what I've always said about this town. You look at the Pacers run, you look at now this Fever run, you look at what the Colts are doing. There's something that's been in the water for the last year or so where there is a resiliency that you got to love. You got to absolutely love it.
Oh, and we do love it. So we're ready for another game day. The Fever back in action tonight in Vegas for Game 2, hoping to come back home undefeated in the semifinals for Game 3 on Friday. And we can't forget our college teams also growing. The Indiana Hoosiers undefeated after beating Illinois. Big win for them last week as well. So coming up, we'll be talking about that game and the growth of the last 2 seasons they've really had, but also college basketball, because we can't stop talking about basketball here. So we're going to be bringing that to you coming up at 6:30.
Okay, we will see you then, Anna. Thank you.